Hi, welcome. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how much you're losing sitting on page 2 of Google. And I'm also going to tell you how this simple one-page website that cost less than $100 to build was able to generate upwards of 16 leads within a period of a year. And how you can also double or triple this number of leads using the multi-micro site strategy, which I'm going to show you at the very end of this video. So stick with me. When was the last time you actually went to page 2 of Google to find a plumber or a roofer or anybody to fix something at your house? Yeah, never. Nobody does that, and that's the biggest problem facing most local businesses right now. I'm going to run some numbers by you. Studies show that 75% of people never scroll past the first page of Google. That means if you are appearing on page 2, you're basically invisible. You don't exist in the eyes of Google. And now here is where it gets worse. The top three results, which is the sponsored section, the Google Maps section, and the organic section, get 75% of all the clicks. The map pack means the three businesses that shows up right here. That's this map section here, this Google business profile. So basically what we're saying is this sponsor section, this Google business profile, and the top three results just below it all get 75% of all the click, with most of them going to the Google business profile, followed by the sponsored ads, and then the organic section. So you really want to rank in position 1 to 3. Like you can see, the sponsored ads are getting the very first section, followed by the Google business profile. So if you're basically not ranking in the top 1 to 3, you're definitely not going to get any clicks at all. So if you're ranking on page 2, you're basically invisible on Google. That's exactly what we're talking about. So I'm going to show you exactly how this one-page website was able to rank for specific queries that were able to position ourselves as position number 1 for queries like gutter contractor in this specific zip code, and how you can do this for your business, because we want your website to show up within this top 3 section, 1, 2, 3 section. That's the only way you're able to get at least a few calls coming in. So that's exactly what we're going to show you in this video right now. So why most local businesses stay stuck on page 2? So this is exactly what happens when you do make a search on Google. Some businesses shows up in page 1 and others get buried. Most local business owners think they need a fancy website with hundreds of pages. They think they need to spend thousands of dollars every single month on ads just to get noticed. While this might be true in some cases, but for others, it's quite wrong. Google actually rewards simple, focused websites that match what people are actually searching for. You must match the searcher's intent. When someone in Bikini searches for gutter installation in Bikini, Google looks for websites that clearly say, hey, I do gutter installation in Bikini. If your website does not say that clearly, you lose. Most business owners make three big mistakes. They try to target every city on one page. They add pages like we also service Allen, Prosper. These are cities surrounding McKinney anyway. So Google wants one city per own page. They use a generic domain like best gutters instead of something that is specific to their area. Google favors an exact match domain. It is just what works. They never build any authority signal, more of like citations, press release, or any other backlinks that signals Google that this is a legit business. And here's the thing: while they're making these big mistakes, they're paying anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 every single month on ads, paying anywhere between $12,000 to $24,000 a year on ads for renting these leads that are actually coming in. I'm going to show you exactly how this simple one-page website that cost less than $100 to achieve was able to rank on the first page of Google and generate upwards of 16 leads within a year. If we were to pay for these leads running ads, these are people actually filling out this form. For to pay for the number of leads that came in, we'll be spending anywhere between $1,500 to $3,000. So I want you to pay attention going forward in this video so you know exactly what we did with this page that made Google love it and was able to rank on position number 1 through position number 10 on Google for multiple queries that it ranks for. So the very first thing we've established is get an exact match domain. Exact match domain simply signals Google that you are local to that area. So it's basically you including the core service you render plus the city in which you render the service in your domain name. If you already have a domain name, it's no worries at all. The next best thing you can do is include the core service and the city in the title of the domain. So if you render gutter installation, if you render roofing in McKinney, you could say roofers or roofing in McKinney as the title of the website. So consider your title like the title of a novel, the entire book itself. It gives the reader a perception of what to expect in the book. Then also the next step you will need to take, which is the third step, is to include the core service you render plus the city also in the headline. So when you open the book that has the title, you see the chapters. So the very chapter one is likened to as being as the headline one. So which is the main headline of the copy that appears on this your own page itself. You want to include the core service you render plus the city in it. Then the very first paragraph just below the headline, you also want to include a mix of the core service you render plus the keyword plus the city in which you're rendering that service in. This basically signals Google about what your page is all about. Then you can now dive in further to see exactly other services that you render. You want to list as many of them as possible and talk briefly about them. And the next section is why they should choose you. You want to establish yourself as a business. This is the template that works. It generates this has been tested, tried and true. It generates 16 leads. So you want to follow these templates exactly as is. So in this section, you want to include, okay, why you're an expert in the industry, why should people choose you? What is the quality of your service? What kind of materials do you use? Are you licensed? Are you insured? Are you family owned? Do you have recognition awards of some sort? This is the section you want to include all of this. And the second to last and very important is the frequently asked section. You want to include a frequently asked question on your page. You want to answer as many questions as possible that are local to your area. Google has given the hint on exactly how to see these frequently asked questions. They call it people also ask. So when you search for the service that you render in your city in Google, you'll see this section they call people also ask for multiple queries that you're servicing. Here you say how much do this cost on average in Texas. You want to make this question local to your area, like in our case, McKinney. So you want to say how much do gutters cost on average in McKinney? What is the best gutter company in McKinney? How much does guttering cost in McKinney? You want to make it focused to your area that you service. And that basically gives Google that more trust, that more signal, that local relevance that you are trying to build. And it tends to just rank you because of all of these questions and answers you've provided. Then the last thing is the zip code. It's important. If you serve a particular city, you want to indicate the zip codes on the home page. This will enable you rank for queries with zip codes. You rank position number one just because you have the zip code in the title, on the page, somewhere on the page. And that makes sense for most businesses. So it's something you really want to have. Basically, that's all we did with the website. I said the title, so include the core service plus the city in the title, in the headline, and the very first paragraph. You list all of the services, why they should choose you, frequently asked questions, and the zip code. And you basically covered the on page. This is all we did to generate this number of leads that done. So in order for Google to trust us or see us as an authority, we want other websites to mention us. So take for example a Reddit post. Before this post will get to this top position, it needs a lot of upvotes. So how is the same system that Google uses to rank websites? You need a lot of websites mentioning your website or talking about your website. And the best way to do this is by you getting your website listed in local directories. I talk about Yelp, Angie's List, Thumbtack, and many of them as possible. So we have a creation of over 400 local directories right here that you could get your business listed on. You could go down this list and get your business registered, or you could basically hire the services of Mohammed Wahid. We have no affiliation with him whatsoever. He just does quality service. So he does this for $75 for 400 local directory submissions. You get a response within 7 days. And basically, that's all we spend, $75 for citations and domain name for $15 basically on Namecheap. And that's all we spent. We built out this site in November of 2024. And by January of 2025, we got our very first lead. That is 2 months plus apart. So let's say within 90 days, we're able to generate our very first lead that came in. So that's the timeline you're expected to get when you basically do the service. If you are in a very low competition service, like in our case, it's a bit low competition. So You want to look at your service area and see exactly, but the timeline for SEO results is between 90 days to 120 days, then 12 months. So that's the timeline to expect. So basically, that's all we did. There are things we didn't do with this website that could have even doubled the number of leads we got. You notice we only reported people filling out this form right here. The phone number we have on this website does not work. So if we add an active phone number, we would have doubled or tripled the number of leads. Reason being that most homeowners who are looking for a specific service are looking to speak with either the business owner or a contractor to fulfill their needs almost immediately. They don't want to fill out a form and wait 24 or 48 hours to get a reply. They want a response right now, immediately. Another thing we could have done with this website that could have further boost the authority and give Google even more relevance is create a dedicated standalone service page for each of these related service. Gutter repair we have its own service page. Gutter replacement its own page. Gutter cleaning its own page. They would have added a mix of nearby locations that we service. If you look at the map of McKinney right here, where is the map? Yeah, map of McKinney right here. We see locations like Prosper, Roland, New Hope, Lowry Crossing, Favio, Allen, Lucas. So all of these are locations within 20-mile radius of McKinney. And most likely contractors usually serve all of these locations. So you want to also mention these locations and create dedicated pages for each of these locations, thus building this authority and be letting Google find more pages and more things about your business. And thus you might maybe most likely rank for those inner pages. But the home page gets most of the power because of the number of links that are pointing to it. Imagine 400 local citations all pointing to your home page. That's how you're able to go from position number 10 to position number 3 overnight just by doing this trick. Another thing we could have done to point more links to the home page, a very cheap source, is by buying a press release. A press release simply means other website mentioning you. So imagine your local news website or a mix of all these online news websites that are on Google News. They are mentioning your website. They are creating a backlink. They are creating a trail profile back to your website that Google tends to trust. So you get a handful of over 450 of this for $70, including Fox Media Outlet, NBC Media Outlet, CBS Outlet. So it's something you should have. These are foundational links. They're trusted by Google. They're not blacklisted. And if you want to take your rankings a step further, such that you're able to rank most of your keywords for all of the services that you render, you want to buy high quality backlinks. These backlinks, one of them costs anywhere between $74 to $100 per link, and it's offered by Jackie Cho. It does snitch edit and local guest posts for $74 to $95 per link, and these are golden. You could do maybe 2 in a month, and within a year you could have gotten up to about 24 links, high quality ones that gets you way above your competition, and you definitely rank. So the more rankings you get, the more visibility you get, and the more visibility, the more leads you have. The more leads, the more revenue. So basically, that's all we could have done with this website and how you can also do this with your website. So I'll walk you through it again. We include the core service or the main service we render on the home page, the title tag and the H1, list all of the service, while the IR section, the testimonial, frequently asked questions, and zip code. And basically, so if you are to do this and build up on all of the things I said we could have done, you have all of this costing for $224. Mind you, we started this website in November of 2024. By January, we got our very first lead. And over the course of 10 months, we got 16 qualified leads, not hierarchical, people actively looking for this specific service. So here now comes the multi microsite strategy that I'm going to explain to you right now. We've established, because of the number of links that are pointing to the main homepage of the website, Google tends to favor that homepage, and because it is relating to that specific city. And using an exact match domain signals Google that we are hyperlocal to that area. So we want to also target each of these cities that we serve in multiple locations using a different website with an exact match domain. Like I said, we could target service Allen, Prosper, Princeton. We want to have dedicated domain for each of these specific cities, such that we now have a full-blown page of over 72 pages in total that we could service in Google and give Google more relevance. So we could expect anywhere between, so imagine our website was able to generate 16 leads. That's anywhere between 1 to 2 leads per month per website. So if we have 7 websites, that's anywhere between 14 to 35 leads per month for 7 of these websites that you have. This is exactly how you're able to dominate your entire area. You could pause the video and look at the site structure and see exactly how you can replicate all of this. Because of time, I'm going to be moving forward. So if this is something that you're interested in, you can basically build upon whatever the case study which is we have right here. And you can do this completely for yourself for $224. You don't need an expert. If you're stuck anywhere, just ask the questions in the comment section. I would reply with a video explaining exactly the next step to take. So, but if you think this is beyond you and you think you have uh, and if you think you'd rather do things with your time, you might want to work with us long term. So we're offering a service where we help you optimize your Google business profile, set up this entire multi microsite strategy system for you, and manage your business. Basically, we help you get clients. So we do all of these services: Google business optimization, review reputation management, set up a missed call text back, AI chat widget, everything from getting your calls to managing your reviews and every other thing, all in the CRM, all in one platform. We do all of them for you. So you basically just relax and you fulfill those services when those customers come in. So if you're paying for ads and you're working right now, you can keep paying for them. I'm not saying you should quit because that is the bread and butter of your business. But I want you to channel a bit of cash flow that comes in to building this system so you own your lead source over time, because once you're paying for ads, you're basically renting this lead source and the cost goes higher and higher as the year runs by because of the competition in the market. So you don't want to keep competing with your people. You just want to dominate your entire location. And everything I've said in this video helps you do this. We're offering a 3 risk-free Google business profile optimization to use as case study for our our YouTube channel, such that we can able to teach people how to better optimize their Google business profile. So if you've watched to the end of this video, thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section, subscribe to my channel, and like this video, and see you in the next